So it's 1 a.m. I have problems sleeping, so might as well make a video. Reasons why I'm doing this is, well, I've really always kind of had a boring life. I play video games all the time. I mean, video games is fun stuff. When I was in middle school, when I was younger, hanging out with my friend Parker in Ogden. Probably one of my best friends. Known him for a long time. We used to always hang out, ride bikes. We used to ride BMX bikes. Most of the time, guys or boys go through phase where they like to ride BMX bikes. I never really left that phase, neither as he. But I still have the bike. I'm currently needing to fix it. I think the only original parts that are still on that thing are the handlebars, the grips, the brakes, or not the cables, but the actual brake parts on it, and the frame. I've replaced just about every part on that thing. Still love it. It's a great steel frame, so why get rid of it if it still works? But I think some of the most interesting things that I ever did in my life was when I was younger, when I went camping with my parents and with their friends. We used to hang out, go find sticks, go hiking. I miss doing that a lot. I haven't had time with work and also with gas and money and stuff. I don't really make enough. I got the pulley ordered for my car, so I still won't be able to make it to work on time tomorrow. If I do get my car running tomorrow and stuff, I'll definitely drive down and go to work. But if you don't know, I don't know if I said it in my other videos, but I work at O'Reilly Auto Parts. I'm working at the Clive store, which is out of not near Ankeny, or not within walking distance, so not really gonna walk there. I could try and get a ride, but a friend works tomorrow, so so does my roommate. Yeah, I'll probably have to write me up, so that will suck. Hopefully I still have my job, because it's a fun job. I like it. But as I said, my life has always been kind of just that stuff. It's kind of boring. What I left out of my last video upon kind of the story of my life, this is kind of continuation, because I forget things and I remember stuff later, and I don't feel like editing because, well, I have a really crappy computer. I mean, it works for what I need it for, which is good, but it doesn't take very much to make it run really slow. It takes me like 3 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes for it to just open Firefox. So, but well, what happened after this bad breakup, where I went to a really bad state of depression, I never really wanted to go to class. I never really tried that hard, except for my math class, because I had my friend Devin. Shout out to you, man, if you ever see this. He's a great guy. He really kept me in line to do my work and do my homework, but he was in the only 2 classes that I had, and then when I was done with those classes and he wasn't there, I didn't really have any friends. I mean, I can easily make friends, but after class, he'd always come over to my place, and then we'd just do homework together, get our homework done for the math class. I think it was just like a basic math. I don't really remember what it was. Besides the point, he's a great friend. Always keep a hold of some of your great friends or someone that you look up to in life, because, well, it's always good to have somebody there for you if you need help, or, well, yeah, it's always great to have someone there for you. I just kicked my tripod. Yeah, I had this sitting on a tripod right in front of me, because I have no other thing to hold it up with. And it's also at a slight angle. It's going to bother me, but I don't care. With that, having that bad breakup, after I had those classes with him and I actually passed both of them, I also tore apart my Ford Focus. I tore it down to bare block, which is in the engine, and just basically just resealed the whole thing. All the parts were in good condition, so resealed it, put it back together. It took us forever to get the thing running again because we ran into so many problems. There was a hole in the radiator, so we had to get a new radiator. What else was there? Just getting everything back together. I mean, we got it back together, we got it running, and it was fine. And then after we got it running and stuff, me and my friend Seth were hanging out. He was my neighbor up in Ames. We were hanging out, and then on our way back home, because we went to Ames to hang out with some of his friends too, on our way back home on the highway, the water pump pulley broke, like it just bent, and well, I was like, well, we're not getting this anywhere. So, and I knew for some reason it was not holding oil. We couldn't find where the heck it was leaking out, but I was like, well, the engine's screwed anyway. So we were up by Huxley. I don't know exactly how far Huxley is from Ankeny, but we pushed it quite a few miles. What we do is we push it till we got kind of cold and a little bit tired, and then I'd start it. Never start a car without oil or any coolant going through it, because what I did is I ran it up to 100 miles an hour on the highway. Don't advise that, it's not a good idea. Another thing that I was having problems with is the transmission bolt like kind of snapped or skewed itself. The transmission was slightly out of alignment, so I could only go into first, second, and fifth gear. So I went in first gear, went up as high as can shift, or first, third, and fifth, my bad. And then I shifted it into third, and then fifth, got up to 100 miles an hour, turned it off, and then let it coast, because it was in the middle of the night, there's nobody out on the highway. And I let it coast until it came to a stop. I put it in neutral. Yeah, I drove a manual, it was fun. I don't have a manual right now, it's an automatic. It's a 91 Lexus LS 400 that I'm having problems with right now. It still runs fine, except for, well, the pulley. My grandpa's gonna come up tomorrow, and we're gonna hopefully get that fixed. But it happened around, like, 11, 10 at night, and then we didn't get home till like 5 a.m. I'm really glad I stripped the interior out of that car for autocross, because I took at least a couple hundred pounds out of it. I took out the seat, took out all the interior components. I mean, my radio didn't work, so why keep it in there? After that, we got home. I had some taquitos left over. It's great snacks. Taquitos are awesome. I think they're beef. No, I had beef and chicken. We each had our own box of taquitos, something to warm us up. And actually, we made it to a gas station that I go to all the time, because I was on my way to work, and everyone knows me there. But they let us have some free coffee because it was freezing cold out. We were freezing cold. And then there's this one guy that came in. I took it upon myself to ask him. I was like, hey, we've been out all night and we just are trying to get back home. We've been walking, like, basically since Huxley almost. Probably a little bit less because I could start it up a few times, and then the engine died and there's no more battery juice, so then we couldn't start it up and keep it running. He was like, yeah, sure, where do you live? I was like, yeah, we just live up at DMAC. It'll be on your way. And he's like, okay, yeah, it's fine. So he gave us a ride. I told him thank you. I was like, if I had any money, I'd give you some. But thank you, thank you, thank you. It was great. We got home. And I mean, I'm not a person that drinks much. I know I'm 20, I know I'm underage, but it's college, it happens. I don't advise doing this, but if you do, don't drink to get drunk. I only had 2 beers in the fridge. I was like, hey, let's just, we finally made it home. Let's celebrate a little bit. Let's have a beer. So we drank our beer. I needed to work at 7 a.m. that day, where I needed to get up at least at that time to get to work. And I called into work. I was like, I'm not coming to work. I'm too tired. I was basically out all night just trying to get home. So they're like, okay, just come back tomorrow. That was good, but when did I get on that rant? Oh yeah, I was talking about Devin, and then okay. With that breakup and going into severe depression and always having so many more bad things happen after that, that kind of parted with that, because then I had to ride my bike and walk to work every day. I had to ride my BMX bike, and then the chain broke because the crank was kind of bent, so it was making the gear wobble back and forth, or walk is what you call that. And the chain eventually broke, so then I couldn't ride that to work. Then my parents brought me what was it, an old mountain bike. I think it's a Magna, I don't know. It's one of the slightly off-brand ones, I don't know. But the bike was older than me, and I had to tinker with the tension of the cable for the gear shifting, so it would be able to shift into gears and stuff. And after a while, that just kind of broke, so it got stuck in the plastic mounts for the gear turning. The mount that was holding it from spinning and then making it to where you can click it into gears broke, so then I couldn't shift it into different gears, and it just got caught in the lower gears, so I couldn't go very fast. Luckily it had the 5 in the back and then the 3 up front, so I could have it. It got stuck in the lower gear, but I could still shift the gears behind, which was nice. So I just put it in the highest gear and then just went. Called it good. In the winter, I wiped out on that bike, bent both the front and rear rims, because mountain bikes have bigger rims, so it's easier for them to flex and then misshape themselves. So with that, it was always kind of sketchy to ride. Bent up the front brakes a little bit, so it was always hitting weird on the brakes. I still have that bike out here, actually. It's been sitting outside and it hasn't been ridden for a while since I've had a car. I don't think it works anymore. I'll have to go take a look at it, but I'm wanting to buy a 3-piece crank for my BMX bike. I'm going off on another rant. Okay, I need to stay focused. With severe depression and stuff, I stopped going to my classes, even though they were interesting. And then I went to my one and only, after I dropped out of the auto class, because I was going to go for auto, work on cars all the time. And I also realized I don't like working on new cars. There's too much electronics for any good. And I was like, you just need basic information, or, well, you need some advanced stuff, but you need this kind of basic information to, work on any older car, like 60s, 90s. I still need to probably take a class on carburetors, because I don't know how those work really. I mean, I have a general idea, but unfortunately my financial aid dropped, so I won't be able to go to any more classes till I make more money and then retake classes. Yeah, depression, it's really, really hard thing to deal with. If there's anyone out there that has depression, I know how it feels. I still feel it every single day. I don't like to take medicine for this stuff because, well, I just don't like to take medicine in general. I grew up taking ADHD medicine all the time. It made me not really feel like me. I mean, it made me kind of like a zombie, as my dad would say it. But I don't advise that you go against what your parents say. That's what I did. But most medicines, like ADHD medicines, are kind of a slight addictive type thing. I mean, I didn't really get addicted to it because I didn't take it all the time. So I kind of did. Like my butt, I'd feel a lot more hyper when I didn't take my medicine. Like I'd have more energy, be more energized, and it felt great. And well, what I did is that since it's slightly an addictive medicine, and they don't ever think about this because they were like, oh, I never thought about it that way. But I was like, you know what you do to like not have to worry about doing that, taking that medicine? You taper off of it. You don't just cut yourself off, because that's when you get like, oh, I don't feel normal, I don't feel the same. But since I tried to get them to start doing that so then I could taper off of it, but then that wasn't working. They're like, oh, you're not acting right, your grades are slipping. And I was like, But what I did is this actually kind of helped with acting. But I stopped taking my medicine, and then my parents and a lot of my friends were like, you're really hyper. Mostly my parents were saying, hey, you need to not be as hyper anymore, and you need to do this and this and that. So, excuse me. So with that, I took note on how they're saying I was acting and how I should act. And I started acting that way in order to kind of gain approval of them. And I got it to the point where my mom, I mean, I think they always kind of knew I wasn't taking my medicine, but I was able to kind of like trick them. Don't do this. If there's anyone out there, please just listen to your parents. It's a good idea, because they're there for you for a long, long time. And then in the end, you're going to be there for them for a long time until, well, you know, they pass away, which kind of sucks. My stepmom's, both of her parents died, not recent, well, I guess recently. It's been quite a few years, so not too terribly recent. But I know it was really, really hard on her because, well, she's known them her whole life. So when it comes to that, I mean, it's going to suck for anyone. Unless, well, you know, you hate your parents, and it's not going to suck. Well, it might a little bit, I don't know. But with this, I suffer with really, really bad depression. It kind of sucks, but you kind of learn to deal with it. It can also help. I kind of try and take it in an artistic manner. I love to draw, by the way, but I like to draw cars and dragons and fun stuff like that. I haven't drawn in a long time, but I kind of like it because it gives me a different perspective on the world than a lot of other people. You get to see this, like, you'll notice what people are feeling a little bit more. I'm a very, not self-indulged, I don't know how to say this, but I'm a very self-knowledge person. Like, I know a lot about myself. I know what's going on with me. I can also take my knowledge about myself and also my heightened awareness of other people and like how people talk and react or walk around. I actually know who's walking around the store or who's walking around the corner at my place of work, because, well, I take note of who has the heaviest footsteps and who sounds like what. I'm very audio person, or very visual. I do like to, I want to do more urban exploring, but it's really hard to start catching on that because, well, one, sometimes it's illegal because it's trespassing, because sometimes places are blocked off, and it can be very, very dangerous because you can run into people that are doing drugs, selling drugs, or gangs, or just kind of crazy people. But I really want to do that. I have gone into a few slightly obscure places that are like old houses, and I don't know why they were closed down or why they were abandoned, so I just kind of like to bring one of these along. It's just a little respirator mask, because you don't know what kind of toxins could have been there. It could have been black mold, and you don't want to breathe that in, or asbestos, however you want to pronounce it. So I have that. It's nice. It's an expensive one that you can get at O'Reilly's, and I need to buy new filters and stuff for it soon. I do have the 3M ones here somewhere, but I also got a nice flashlight. But I'm wanting to do this because I'm wanting to actually do something with my life. I don't want to just be kind of like a lazy bum and just kind of sit around and not really accomplish anything. I'm running out of things to say. If I think of anything else, I'll probably post another video. But yeah, man, I might start to become a blogger. Jeez, this is road coming to, right? Person that doesn't like to deal with the internet and new age stuff, new age technology. Yeah. Well,